Hello and welcome to Taccion Triage. This will be for June 2026. And without further ado, let us get started. So, Tachyon Triage for June 2026 is from static to signal. And when I say signal, I mean heart signal. Let us run a triage check on your social network, your future, and your innovative mind. If you're constantly modifying your speech, your understanding, and goals for the future to keep others comfortable, saying yes to events and things you secretly hate, and participating in meaningless conversations with people who don't even respect you or care to hear what you have to say, stop calling them friends or part of your future. Being part of a large superficial network or future does not equal your safety. You're trading your sovereign, you're chasing your sovereignty for compliance, which is an issue. You're in a mainstream compliance illusion. Are you building a future that does not align with a version of you that you don't know anymore? Stop calling it preparing for the future. You're building someone else's future, maybe even a past version of you. You're running a mainstream compliance illusion in the form of echoes of what your future once was. You've evolved, you've changed. You're trading away your absolute personal sovereignty, your aligned future, because you're terrified of the temporary isolation required to find your real tribe and your real future. You've built a mask to keep unaligned people around you and unaligned goals to a future you've already outgrown. And now you're complaining that the connections around you feel hollow. The future feels hollow. The superficial future and true future belonging are in the same currency, same current frequency, just oppositional. The loneliness you feel in that crowded room, I know you felt that. It's proof that your fake personality is working perfectly. The lack of expansion towards tasks for your future is proof that you have outgrown a future goal and it is still somehow your static focus, not your heart focus. The platonic compliance is there to hide rejection and polarization. It's a platonic safety. But this platonic safety and also this very real electric union are also the same current, the same frequency. It's a matter of choice and what signal you're pushing out. You see, you cannot build true belonging, future, on a foundation of compliance. So your prescription is the authentic polarization spark. Now, for some of you, you don't have to follow this part. This is just something to shake up the energy, to shift it. Go into your group chat or your next social setting and voice a raw, unfiltered, uncompromising boundary or perspective. Don't apologize for this perspective, for this rawness. Don't smooth it over. Let the lightning shatter this fake harmony. And know that the people who run are your system's waste. You're looking for one-to-one intimacy The ones who stay are your real friends and part of your real future. And that is why you must go from static to signal to the heart signal. You're operating under a dogmatic myth. I just seen a typo. Welcome to the two separate thoughts. Let us proceed forward. We will not let that stop us, though. Being a deep thinker is lonely in a world where people want to talk about the weather or very superficial things. Even with some, their attention span is very low and they have the incapacity to hold that kind of space attention-wise. And that's okay. But when you speak meaning while others are simply speaking words. You've felt the isolation of your intelligence, your innovation, and your perspective. The awkward silence, even when you share a deep meaning that takes over the space. A feeling of rejection and outcast because people cannot discuss the concepts you speak of. You are misunderstood. And the feedback from others, they tell you that, other people don't understand. That it's like a college professor level to a kindergarten class. So you took on a personality that helped you survive. What is that personality? Well, it's holding back your deep thinking, your innovative mind, and meaning. To have a sense of belonging. Even understanding the polarity is dual. Hiding your intelligence as to not offend those around you. Inside, you held two minds at once, bouncing between the two like a tennis match. But lately, you can't keep your innovative mind to yourself, buried any longer. And you realize the time has come to show the whole you, ready or not. And accept that to be rejected by others means to belong to you once again. And trusting this decisive momentum. So as we move into June 2026, we do have a new moon in the sign of Gemini. Now, I am reading this from my perspective, teaching from a place that I know. So this may not be your exact placements, but you can still obtain information to help you proceed forward. So let me spread this out here. This new moon in Gemini at 15 degrees for my specific frequency was this new seed in decisive momentum, really entering into a flow state. Some of the energy has been this pure reactive chaos to you, right? Some, it's because there's a lack of understanding. Some, it's because there's a lack of communication. It's almost as if you had to become your own interpreter. Some people are overly absorbing information to the point of insanity, you know? But this movement is about absorbing just enough data which anchors whatever it is that you're trying to understand to a higher purpose. And it helps you to trust. It helps you to make this unshakable physical movement without a single second of self-doubt. So it's moving out of a paralysis, almost because of the information analysis paralysis, to this decisive momentum movement that is purposeful. And for some, even movement that is aligned to sort of your mission statement and your values. True intelligence doesn't wait for a flawless, risk-free future. That's not going to happen. But it definitely makes this movement in the present. And just like a sailboat, it will adjust the sails while in motion if necessary. This new moon really, to me, is a new seed in intellectual expansion and understanding. And your mind is very powerfully coming online, as is others. And instead of being sort of in this analysis paralysis, I feel like you certainly are going to have this forward thinking, and it will bring individuals to you that are also in alignment with this collaborative forward thinking. And you will find that there will be some deep connections one-to-one, okay, where you're able to truly be you. Some of you have an ability here that you've watered down or hid from the world, and I feel like one of the reasons why you are feeling as if you cannot hide this anymore is because this gift is naturally maturing. Okay? It has looked, it has saw, and it's ready to take flight. And you will notice that some people are stepping out of these personas that they had to step into, these personalities that they had to step into in order to survive. And you're seeing the true them. Now, for some, this will be a shock, because these were the people in which related to you not seeing the full ambiance of you, the full ambiance in the way you think, the way you speak, and how that works, what your true mission is, your purpose and values, and how it's important to align in those ways to have a sense of belonging. We also have a full moon Capricorn, 15 degrees. And this is my influence here. So yours might be different, but I'm trusting that who I am putting this out here for, it will find them. And this is a part of me being unapologetic and coming forward as the whole me, teaching from a place that I know. This full moon in Capricorn is releasing. this Stoic Shield that you have. What is that? Well, shutting down your emotions, simply put, in order to take on the responsibilities and get things done. So, treating relationships, and this could be other people towards you, expecting this from you, treating the relationship like a cold business transaction, working long hours, whether it's doing things at home, not setting those appropriate boundaries, not leaving work when you're supposed to, taking on things for other people that are not your responsibility in order to protect these people. Maintaining a stoic, emotionless mask, focusing strictly on the responsibilities, the finances, logics, the business, while ignoring emotional cries for help. Some of you are exhausted. I know I have been exhausted. With all of the downloads, it definitely really spoke to me about static and how to organize what is important to purpose, mission, and values here. The Stoic Shield, it comes from a belief that emotional expression is structural weakness. And it's coming from people around you that dogmatically rely on material security because they can touch it. It is real. Maybe it's career status, rigid control to protect themselves. Or maybe you're doing this. Remember, we're polar, dual by design. So what you see, you may be taking on some of these qualities as well. What are they protecting themselves from? The unpredictability of human feelings, emotional chaos. So maybe you start cleaning because the kids are out of control and you feel like if you have a clean house, it might help for them to calm down. If they have like their hoodie that they need or whatever. So you find yourself going above and beyond to create this comfort level for everyone around you. And one of the biggest things that you did was detach from your heart, or detach or hide who you really was, how you really think, what you really say, what really needs to be said. You have a way of softening your daily environment. You bring light, comfort, and optimism to rigidity, heavy, over responsibility, almost on the verge of self-slavery, just to pull something heartfelt into it, morale boosting energy into who you invest in without reciprocity. You approach helping others in a highly practical but deeply tender way. You are the interpreter. You may find deep fulfillment in career paths or volunteer work that involve caregiving, therapy, pediatric medicine, or any role where you alleviate the burden of the vulnerable. Now, your physical health has really suffered as a result of you doing this flow of energy. It's unsustainable. Pushing your emotions down, not really taking the rest that you need. And you noticed physical health problems that were coming up that is resolving as you lean into this energy. I have experienced that myself. really tuning into when you do need that rest, when you do need that peace, has been a big thing for me. If your daily routines or what you're doing becomes entirely consuming or feels like slavery or it's very rigid responsibilities, your health suffers, and you're seeing this. There has to be fun and creativity and love into the day-to-day or whatever it is that you're serving, or this service has to include this because burnout happens. Because it's an unsustainable flow of energy. So you also have a rare emotional resilience. You can hit those marks. You can get that shit done, right? But it's about not just enduring them, but you found clever ways to optimize your structure, to optimize your situation, the responsibilities, and try to keep your spirit up. But I do see you releasing some things here. And one of those things is the Stoic Shield personality that you've taken on, dropping the responsibilities that are not yours. Okay. This is a worksheet that I created to help you work through some of these energies. And if you're interested, you can jot this down and kind of go through it, and it will help you work through what it is that you're struggling with. It's just kind of an interactive way for you to get involved. And I may start doing these worksheets on my members to help you actively work through what is going on. It is a bit difficult to see, and I cannot zoom in. Excuse me. So just give me one moment, please. Okay. So this is reclaiming your inner crown and magnetic joy, and just your magnetism. True intelligence projects the asset. You cannot pour your brilliant light into a container of others if your own container is leaking. So finding the leak. So part of the triage flow is looking at sort of the symptoms. And the symptoms here is a social congestion check. And for those of you who resonate with this, with Gemini dominating your 11th house of groups this month, the world is loud. Your mind is collecting massive amounts of external data, leading to instant fatigue. If it's unmanaged, you feel a sense of burnout. So scan your current lifestyle vital signs for the first half of June. Are you overextending? Are you saying yes to too many group chats, projects, or even tasks? Are you having texting fatigue where you feel like you have to answer everyone instantly while neglecting your own goals and your own rest? Are you feeling professional friction? Feeling defensive or pressured by changes at work that you feel is out of your control? Maybe they're asking too much of you. Do you feel a scattered focus? Do you have 50 tabs open in your brain and you're not closing any of them? You're not finishing anything. I want you to identify the number one energy thief in your energy right now or in your social networks. What is demanding your mental attention without giving anything back? Part of the triage is the diagnosis, and this is the people-pleasing prophecy. Your triage report indicates you are running on the illusion of universal availability. You have a dogmatic belief that you must fix every problem and answer every call to maintain your status as the reliable, radiant anchor of your circle of whatever this is, your friend group, your work, your day-to-day. Rewrite the script and reclaim your mental currency. I acknowledge that saying no to the noise and the static does not mean it's mandatory. I release the exhausting belief that I'm responsible for managing everyone else's emotional comfort. The illusion. Part 3 is bridging the duality. So the bridge of polarity, it's decisive momentum or movement over analysis paralysis. Your human mind wants to process everything, every text, every word, everything, every email. Your infinite spirit wants you to focus exclusively on your long-term legacy and career expansion, on you. The illusion is if you don't answer them right now, the connection will break. The divine unity is clear boundaries actually increase your value to others. The sovereignty shift. How will shutting out the casual, superficial character for the vivid blocks of time this month help you build the career freedom or just your freedom and liberation you actually want? The prescription. The time block clock. Decisive momentum. To prevent this Mars and Taurus transit from turning your career into a pressure cooker, you must claim your time. You are prescribed the decisive momentum protocol. Commit to a 3-hour, no one can reach you, like airplane mode. No, I don't want to talk to you. And just take that time to focus on you, directing all of your heart energy, all of your fire into your own projects. Choose one of these acts if you want to help with this energy balance. Say no to 2 things that drain you, or decide that the first 60 minutes of your morning entirely belongs to you. And you're going to work on your own physical body or your own mental well-being, or you're going to just check your mental vital sign there. Polarity reconciles when you stop playing defense, value your time, and let your heart dictate the agenda. So you're moving from static to the heart signal, static to signal, or the heart signal. Okay. I know this is busy, but this is how nurses do things. This is called a concept map. It's where we look at the concepts of things and we sort of come to this understanding, okay? So your nursing diagnosis is social future deficit as evidenced by, and all of these may not apply to you, but you know, some might here. As evidenced by no expansion with goals, feeling spread too thin, friend zoned. That's something, friend zoned could certainly be something that comes up in this energy when you wanted more. Compliance that feels hollow, overstimulation, sensitivity to noise, too much information, strong polarity, surface level conversations, feeling the need to water yourself down or make yourself smaller, ideological isolation, a lot of people around, but you feel lonely, feel unseen, you feel like you cannot be the real you. And so, really looking at these dynamics here, because you're trying to go from static to this heart signal, the signal, in purposeful momentum from survival to wholeness, and acknowledging the parallel perspective within that in order to see. And so this is some of that duality. If we see one perspective, we must see the other, and really looking at what your mission is, okay? To improve the perspective of polarity as to integrate the tachyon mind would be mine. And my values are the tachyon mind. The bridge between the polarity, okay? Authenticity is the law. These are my values. You'll have to come up with your own. No fragmentation, space and mirroring. Try to reintegrate. Worth comes from the heart and that heart signal, not static. And morality, not what you can do or what you have. And compassion is the law. Sympathy for those in pain and wanting to help. Creating self-reliance. So you're teaching a man or a woman to fish. And if you're looking at the polarity of that, it becomes the opposite. Okay. So slowing the mind down. Okay. The divide. What is this sounding like? Okay. Conformity and fragmentation. A lot of space in the mirroring. Conditional worth. Hate would be the law. Okay. Not wanting to help other people. Being cruel or heartless. Indifference. And then, of course, creating dependency, a supply and demand. So hooking you in. I'm not going to put my perspective there or my opinion. I will let you decide. So when you're looking at these group dynamics, or the 11th house even, then it really brings social structures and systems up to the forefront for discussion. I'm not going to go into that whole thing there, but really understanding that to view something from the opposite or become part of that opposite really is healing, because it does give you the perspective that you lack. It gives you a way to see something, to sort of understand something in a different manner here. So, understanding within breaking down of these social systems, okay, that some people are compliant because it's survival. Okay, they need a sense of belonging, but if you see the opposition or see it from that opposition, you heal. And so try not to be judgmental about that, but to truly be able to take something into you and put that as a priority here, the values. And to do that, you must know your mission, your purpose, and your values on your own in order to find a sense of belonging and community and future goals here. So really quieten down that mental noise and really like finding your purpose, your mission statement, your values, going from just a signal to actual purposeful momentum with this mission and purpose, and really honing in on that frequency. Okay, becoming part of this infinite wisdom. Okay. And really looking at some difficult things. So you have two polarities here. You have some refuse to conform to social structure. So any misalignment creates a disharmony to the structure, right? So they can become the rebellious type towards structure or just refuse to participate altogether. Why do they refuse to conform? Well, maybe they believe that the structure of or the social structure is enslavement, or they don't believe in um, meritocracy. Okay, they don't believe in the social structure because it's viewed as not safe, and it rejects those that aren't 100%, and they might view it this way. And maybe they feel like if they reject a part of themselves, and I think we've all been here, that um it fragments you, right? If you lose a part of yourself. And so really kind of having to go through this whole situation of reintegrating the self, right? Bridging it. Because to heal it, to reintegrate it, you have to sort of view it from this oppositional parameter, this oppositional perspective. So, on the opposite polarity of that duality, you have those that conform to social structures, because this alignment creates harmony to structures. And why they conform is they believe that it's survival, right? Within that social structure, they feel like they actually believe in meritocracy. They believe in the social structure. It's viewed as a safe place to be because it's very accepting, and it creates this energy of cohesion. Now, under the best circumstances, where you don't have to defragment from who you are, is to be part of a belonging of the same mission statement, the same purpose, and the same values. I appreciate being around people with oppositional perspective, because I feel like if everybody in the room is the same, there is no evolution there. So I like a good debate. I really value the opposite perspective. I feel like it's necessary. Um, it very much is. I mean, I have a few hard no's, but I'm sure that we all do that. But I do try to see from that oppositional perspective, because you really learn a lot about yourself by understanding this duality, this polarity that's dual, and really trying to bridge those two. Now, some of that in the center was just some channeling that I got like I got a bridge that was half of a rainbow and then pure white light. And if you take a prism and you shine this white light through it, it separates these different colors of the rainbow. And um, I was going into this channeling for that. So just, disregard that if you don't know what I'm saying now. Maybe that's confirmation for some of you if you was looking for something. So um it kind of talks about the opposition of that energy and how all together as one it becomes white light. So you start over this bridge as a different color, right? A different spectrum of frequency. And then at one point you all combined into this white light. And that to me represented, that was the visual representation I was getting for the bridging of the duality. So it's also really looking at what specific controversial truths or hard boundaries am I hiding from my current friends, my current future, my current, immediate environment, my current day-to-day activities, okay, out of fear that they'll reject the real version of me. So what I'm getting is a lot of people are struggling because they've had to really hold back. And I mean that with all due respect. They've had to really hold back the true them. And I feel like sometimes if there is not a meeting in the middle, right, a compromise, then there maybe needs to be this permanent exit of all superficial like engagements there. If that's something that really is against your purpose, mission, and values. That's why I said like some people have a hard no. Okay. But as you proceed through this energy, especially in this tachyon triage, I want you to really try to put yourself in the opposition viewpoint. Okay. And if you want to really understand, consider the causality. Maybe people are against social structures because they've been socially outcasted. Maybe it was in high school, or they view the social structure as bullshit. It's a bullshit system that ranks people on things that they don't even have, like certain houses as status, clothing, title. I don't know if you guys experienced that in high school. Maybe you didn't, or in your life. But maybe they separated from social structures because they're not of a common cause, right? They couldn't find a deeper meaning that wasn't shallow within that. Maybe you moved away from social structures because it hurt you and it became a an issue, and so you had to be your own leader. But you also felt a sense of loneliness and isolation because you can't trust other people to lead you. Maybe you had a parent, that sort of did the best they could, but they wasn't stepping up here. And so you learned how to lead yourself. I mean, why are you going to ask somebody to lead you through the woods if they can't even walk through their self, right? And I'm not placing blame or saying anything bad. I'm just giving you some reasons why people might not conform to this sort of social structures. There's good and bad within everything. But some people choose loneliness instead of rejection as a part of who they are because they choose to belong to their self. If meaning that belonging to someone else or another group, it defragments them, they just see the world differently. And so that's some of the concept map I break down. So you don't want to get caught in this viral information war because a lot of people weaponize this information as well, like the bickering and the fighting. We're not here to sort of take this harsh stance against each other, right? We don't want to weaponize the intelligence of the words, even though sometimes when you're genuinely authentically who you are, some people are intimidated by that, even though you're not communicating in that way. You trigger people when you're intelligent, especially when, and you know it's bad when you have absolutely no one around you to talk to. Literally, you start to speak, and that awkward silence falls upon the room. I've been there multiple times, and you just learn that it's not something that is acceptable around those certain people that you thought was once part of your future. But moving on, um, the thing is, you're both the clear broadcaster, or I would even say interpreter here, and the superficial internet troll, parroting sound bites for views. People are both. Like, there's been times where you've said things that you didn't know to be factual. It was just sharing information, and maybe you did it out of a way of just like saying, "Hey, did you hear this?" We all have been there. Um, but it is static when you speak words and they're without meaning. It is static. Now that can be changed perspectively speaking, but if you in your heart, you know that you're talking about the weather and you're such a deep thinker and you've realized through trial and error and just people's physical response to you and the way they behave, that they pull back when you do open up, it makes it difficult to truly be who you are. And some people, like I said, they choose to be by their self, to belong, have a sense of belonging with self in order to protect from defragmentation. And others, they bond because they truly have the same mission statement, the same purpose for their life, and the same value system. And that's where you can find um, that authentic belonging. But there will always be diversity. There will always, and it's necessary for growth and evolution. There will always be polar viewpoints, which I think is healthy. But there's an appropriate way to verbalize, and weaponizing is not one of those. Um, it's just not. And to understand that is to really be in your sovereignty. So, preventing hyperfixated mental topics, that are detrimental to your energy. It's okay to have some debate, but you don't want to get yourself into arguments here. Sometimes when you explain things to people and they're not ready to hear it, it might just not be that season for them. And who are you to force that on them? The right people will understand you. They will get it. And being open to that and sort of letting that happen is important. And I will say, really releasing this harsh control to your future, and just sort of liberating yourself from that old timeline and allowing a new future, because I promise you that the goals and aspirations that you have right now, you do not have the same future goals as you did then, because you have evolved and grown and things change. And like I said, just like that sailboat, sometimes you have to, adjust your sail. And that's okay. But don't view, let me say this, if you didn't get something that you wanted, don't view it as a punishment. It's not a punishment. You're not being punished. Sometimes rejection is God's protection. And, it was rerouting you because what that was leading you to was a future that you no longer align with. And that is so important during the month of June, to just be open to just the new future that's going to truly align with you. Okay. And so hopefully this really helped you. This Tachyon Triage. I've been working on this for quite some time. Many of you know I have shifted my branding from what it was before to this, and I'm very proud of this. I used my skills and abilities in real life as a ER triage nurse to come up with this system, and I really believe in this system. I feel like it's going to help a lot of people. And I just want to say thank you for being with me today. And to all of my people, supporters, family, soul family that come and support me all the time, I just want to say thank you. I love you guys very much. And if you're new here, welcome. I mean, we're glad to have you. Hopefully you find something meaningful with this, though. It really helps you, because that was the intention that it was created in. And so I have wasted enough of your time. I'm kidding. I appreciate you watching, but I know you're busy and you have things to do. So until next time, stay in your tachyon mind. I love you and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.